Yeah, Suman, you can get started.
Okay. Yeah, thanks, Giri. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the online workshop of Universal Human Values, also referred to as Jivan Vidya. I'm sure you all must have got references about this workshop. Your well-wishers, your family members, or your friends referred you to this workshop, and you all are eagerly waiting to know what this workshop is all about.
Suman, you got muted.
Suman, I got muted again. You got to start.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, so I was just saying, welcome everyone, and welcome to the 13th online workshop of Universal Human Values, also called as Jivan Vidya. So you all must be eagerly waiting to know what this workshop is all about. What is this organization, CHDHC? Who are these people? What are they going to talk about? And how this is going to be useful for you in your life. So yes, so this 7 days workshop, or so this 1 week workshop is going to be a continuous thing. So you it's not like, I mean, in one session you will not be able to get what this is. So one of the important things I'd like to start before even starting the workshop is that please stay through the complete workshop, see all the sessions, because this is like one of our friends said that this is like a sentence. So if you only listen to 2 3 words of the sentence, you don't get the meaning out of the sentence. So only if you listen to the complete sentence will you will understand what this whole workshop is about. And even in this whole workshop, when we present you, it's just a glimpse of a very large body of content that is there. So it is our effort to present this to you. We will try our best to bring this knowledge and information available to you. Uh, but this is just a beginning of a very large journey of self introspection and looking into ourselves. All right. So briefly, let me start by introducing myself and about the organization. My name is Suman. I live in Detroit in US, and I work with my other team members and we are running this organization called CHDHC, which stands for Center for Holistic Development of Human Consciousness. In Telugu, we are calling it as Manav Chetana Sampurna Vikasa Kendram. Um, so the goal of this organization is to
Sorry, Suman, I had to mute you.
Again, mute.
Sorry. Yeah.
Okay, sure, no problem. So the goal of this organization is that we want to contribute towards achieving an undivided society and a universal human order. Now, what these terms are, what they mean, you will get to see them as we go along in this workshop. So as you can see in the name of the organization itself, our effort is towards the human consciousness. There's so much effort going on into the development, into the physical development. We are building bridges, we are building big buildings, roads, new kinds of cars, even space, and we are exploring with amazing development we have made in the physical realm of things. And what about the consciousness realm? So what effort are we putting in this realm of consciousness, and how can we develop our consciousness to from where we are to a higher level of consciousness, so that we all realize our human potential about what it is to be a human being, a full-fledged human being, and then be a part of a larger human order. So our effort as an organization is to put this towards the development of the human consciousness. Various activities we do. One of the activities, as you are seeing, is conducting this workshop. There are other things, like maybe in the future we'd like to run a small school, and then we also do research and development. What kind of communication mechanisms can bring this knowledge of about the reality closer to you? All this kind of research we do. Also, there is we want to work on the systems for change. So various systems which are running already up and running, which is running the society there. I mean, a lot of effort is going into systems, so any change there will add a lot of value to to the overall society. So with that, a brief introduction, uh, you know, some of the team members whom you're going to listen to in this workshop, and some of the work that we have been doing over the last 1 year and even before that. So especially during the pandemic, we noticed that people are able to join online. So face-to-face workshops we used to do, but then once it went online, people are able to join from their home and connect to this workshop and find value in this. So we have done more work in the last 1 year. Apart from online workshops, we also do face-to-face weekly refreshers. So once the workshop is over, like I mentioned earlier, this is just a beginning of a journey. Now, how do I take this content forward? How do I apply it into life? And what if I have questions? So we have weekly refreshers to address that. So every Sunday from 7 to 8:30, there'll be this session where we do a small revision of the content and also take up questions, and then special focus sessions, some special events like or situations based information like parenting, about how I mean about marriage, about selecting a life partner, or special focus sessions also we do. And for organizations who want to do development, um, so this is we'll go through this at a later stage, but with that brief introduction about the organization, I'd like to now mention a few points which will be helpful for about this workshop. So one thing I already mentioned is to actually complete the whole workshop, have a look at what this workshop is about, get a full picture about it, and not drop in the middle, or it is it's a very it's very deep content. It is introspecting into ourselves. It may be a little tough to begin with, but as we get along, as we go through the workshop, you'll find it more comfortable. So and then this is not something which we can attend by doing some other work. I know it's early in the morning, there are so many things to take care at home, but this workshop, the kind of content we are going to present, it's not something which can be done in parallel, like not cooking and attending this workshop. That's not possible. So a sincere request is to attend this workshop from a calm and comfortable place with a notebook and a pen in hand, because there's so many things that you will be striking you as this workshop progresses. You would want to take notes and remember some of the things that are striking to you. And in the morning session, after the content is presented, some reflection activities would be given to you in the form of looking at a video and thinking about it, or some question to introspect into yourselves, like what brings you happiness, or various things that bring you happiness. Just to give example. So doing this activity actually will help you come for better prepared for the evening session, that's called the Q&A session. And question answering sessions are actually very, very important, because some of the questions which we have, but we probably are not able to articulate, or may hesitate to ask, somebody else will ask for us. And we have been seeing so many with these workshops, the questions are very common. Like most of us have these questions, so don't miss out the Q&A session, because that's where the actual clarifications happen, and you can do the next day's session much better with that Q&A. So and one other thing, important thing, is you'll find very commonly available words in this workshop. So things like respect, trust, affection, relationships, happiness, unhappiness. These are the kind of words that you would listen during this workshop. But one sincere request is that these words are being used with a specific meaning in this workshop. So please try to ask what this word means, if and try not to relate it to already existing meanings. So when we say respect, we already have an image of what respect means, and what it is to respect somebody. If possible, please try to put that meaning and definition aside, and try to have a fresh look at what is being told in this workshop. That will help in getting more value out of this workshop. um, so that's one request. So with that brief introduction, I'd like to um, request a couple of previous participants. So from some participants who have attended this workshop before and may have found benefit out of that. So they will share their perspective of how to attend this workshop and what kind of value they have seen in this. So this will help you as a guideline for you to attend this workshop. It is out of that that we have requested a couple of participants to share their experience. So I'll start with Dr. Deepa Nayarji from Kerala. So she has attended this workshop in I think around last October. And sorry, just give me a second, please. Yeah, sorry, I was looking for the introduction. So Deepa Nair, she's a professor in civil engineering at Cochin University of Science and Technology in Kerala. So Deepa ji, can you please share your experience for briefly for 3-4 minutes?
Yeah,
Thank
so
you.
good morning. Good morning, all. Actually, I feel I'm really blessed to attend the session because this universal human values, it was introduced in my life in the year 2018. ASCT, I'm working as a professor in Cochin University. So ASCT has a program to introduce this course for all ASCT approved courses. That's the reason all the teachers, all the faculty members are they're asked to attend these type of programs. And I also got a chance in 2018. That was a 3-day workshop. And later last year during the pandemic situation, I attended one 5-day online program that also conducted by ACT. Then I got to know about this course last year from one of my friends. I don't remember how I came to know about this, but after that in October I attended the program, and it was really a very wonderful experience for me. What I came to know from ACT classes, that was actually only a basics, but I got the depth of the knowledge, and it was really a very good insight for me. And what I learned from this course is like in my personal life and also in my professional life, it was very much helpful, especially in changing my attitude, thinking about myself. Actually, what do I need really in the life? The entire perspective was changed. So definitely, I hope that all the participants will gain knowledge out of it, and they will be able to learn practice in your life. And in my professional life, how this course helped, that also is an important thing, because as a UHV faculty, I need to teach students, because universal human values is introduced in the second year, and it is a compulsory program now for all the engineering colleges. So that way, if you are introducing this course to a younger generation, it's a little bit difficult. But initially, only we feel that difference. As Suman sir was saying, this is only a dialogue. We should not miss any of the words or any of the sentences, any of the phrases in between, then we won't get the meaning. And now during this pandemic situation, you know how the students are attending the classes through online mode and how much they are able to listen to the content. And this also is entirely different from the technical topics. So initially it was a very difficult for me, but later when the students came to know about the importance of this, I'm actually getting many queries from them. Most of the things I need to explain in a better way, means I need clarity on that, further clarity. That's the reason I'm again attending the course. And to the participants, I would like to say that, as others were also saying, you just need to listen it as a complete sentence. If you're missing anything in between, means because whatever they are discussing here, you feel it as a simple topic, but we need to know the inner meaning. Like what Suman sir was saying, we know the meaning of happiness, we know the meaning of harmony, we know the meaning of trust. All of them are very common words, but we have to see it in the actual meaning. If you want to look inside you, that's a little bit difficult. That will give you a very good insight, and you will be able to live your life fruitfully. Thank you, sir. Thank you. Wishing you all the very best in all these courses. And also this Q&A sessions in the evening, it's very much helpful because clarity in the topics is very much important. That I usually face in the nowadays in the classes. When I explain the things to younger generation, they have many questions. We may not be able to, we are a little bit afraid to ask those questions, but the students, means the same way in our family also we need to explain things to our children. If you don't have the clarity, it will be difficult. And also we need to practice in our life also. Better get more involved in the courses and take maximum advantage out of it. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Deepaji. Thanks for sharing your experiences. And now I request Kusuma Garu from California to share her experience of attending this workshop and how it has been useful for her.
Hello.
Yeah, we can hear you.
Hello. Good morning and good evening to all the participants. And thanks for giving me this opportunity to share what I have learned. So I can say with these classes, maybe I have attended, or I can say, I don't know where to start because there is a lot that which I have learned from these classes. So I couldn't just say in a simple 1-2 minutes, but just I just can say this is one of my life changing classes, I can say. And it was I can say before these classes and after these classes, there is a lot of difference in the way I started looking the life. Of course, I mean, initially I started a class, I mean, parenting class with Hari sir. And later I heard one class from Shiva sir, and sir, again, I heard your class too. So from each class, of course, everybody has given their own set of very important values, but how it impacted me is, I mean, personally, I used to read some books. I used to think that whatever you have, just keep yourself. You need not change for anything. But that perception has changed. Yes, we have to change. But what exactly I have to change is that clarity I got after starting in these classes. In the sense, yes, I mean, I used to think earlier that, yes, if somebody is not listening, let me say first properly, then let me shout or let me be some angry and then convey the words. But that's not the case. So let it be twice or thrice or 100 times if you want to convey them, and if you really want somebody to change, or if you really want somebody to listen, only straightforward answer is politeness and with true respect. That how you can implement this is, I mean, initially, as soon as I listened to the classes, it didn't start, but I worked on it. I sincerely listened to these classes, each and every sentence. I took it to my inner consciousness. I checked by myself why I have to do, why I shouldn't do. So in a way, I can say that I totally tried to repair myself. I'm still in that process. But initially, I used to be very afraid, or used to have less confidence, too much of negativity. But I could definitely say that perspective of thinking, and I am able to stay positive. So I could see myself as well as others noticing me in a very positive way. And they were also able to reach to me if they have something else, and they are very confident that they can be strong. So thank you so much, and I would request each and everybody to focus on each and every word I can say. Just take it as your life lessons, which really would change your perspective of thinking and really gives you a lot of confidence to move forward. Thank you, sir. Thank you to each
Thank
and
you,
everybody.
Kusuma Garu. Yeah, thank you so much for your insights and preparing the new participants for the workshop. So with that, we come to the important part of the workshop, that is actually starting the workshop. So, this workshop will be conducted I mean, there you may be meeting different speakers on different days, but today you are going to uh, meet Dr. Harikumar Voruganti. Dr. Hari is going to start this workshop and will be taking the major chunk of this workshop. So Dr. Hari is an associate professor of mechanical engineering in NIT Warangal, and along with being a mechanical engineer and his profession of teaching, he is passionate about the younger generation, how to develop this holistic human consciousness in them. So he's working on a lot of things on human values related work at NIT Warangal and induction program. And and one of the important things as a team for us in our relationship with Dr. Hari is that he and his family have been very inspiring for the rest of us. So living these whatever we are talking, so walking the talk is the tougher part. So talking is, probably more easier than actually living it out. So Dr. Hari and his wife Purnima Garu and his kids, they have been a very inspiring family for all of us, the rest of the team of CHDHC, in living out these values and in showing us the way on how to implement this in life. So with that, a brief introduction about Dr. Hari. I request Dr. Hari Garu to start the workshop and take over. Uh, so over to you, Dr. Hari.
Thank you, Suman. Thank you. Yeah, so I'll start. I just want to check, is the presentation visible? And
Yeah, it is not in the full screen mode, but it's visible. Now it is in full screen mode. Yeah,
yeah, it's
all
visible.
good.
Okay, thank you. Okay. So good morning, everybody. Some who are not in Indian time zone, namaste. So whatever your time is, that's right. Most of us are in Indian time zone. So I'm very happy to see the turn up. So many of you have come early in the morning by 6:30. So sincerely you're coming. That itself, shows that there is certain level of awareness. Your consciousness level is, you know, better and all. So we're as an organization, as an individual, we are very happy to see you and join this workshop.
Sorry, I think I'll have to interrupt you a little bit. There is an echo, Dr. Harigaru. So is there another phone or something
Yeah.
nearby, which is,
Yes.
I think, yeah, there's echo. So maybe if you can switch that off.
Okay.
Yeah, thanks.
Yeah, so we'll start this workshops, which is titled Universal Human Values, which is the entire content is based on the Jivan Vidya. So it starts from today, Saturday morning, and it ends the next Saturday. So that is, it will be 8 days. So we're going to have sessions in two parts, one in the morning, 6:30 to 8, that is for 1.5 hours, and one in the evening, every day in the evening, that is 7 to 8 p.m. So in the morning, it will be mostly content delivery. There will be some interaction, but it's mostly me speaking for the larger part. Some input I'll take from you though. So in the evening, we won't be speaking, right? We won't be presenting any new ideas, new content from our side. But the forum is open for you to ask any questions, seek any clarifications, and then how do we apply these things in the life. It's completely open. In fact, those sessions are, further interesting and illuminating also. So I suggest everybody to attend both the sessions. So these timings have been made clear to you, so I hope it will be convenient for you and you will attend both these sessions every day. Okay, so first, just a glimpse of what will be this workshop. What are we going to discuss in these 8 sessions, right? So if all 8 sessions put together, what is it going to give to me as a person, give to a participant? So all these 8 sessions put together is going to develop a holistic perspective. Like you have several aspects of life. Like I'm there as an individual, I'm part of a family, I'm part of the bigger system called society, and then we are obviously part of the nature. So how do we conduct, how do we live, right? How do I respond to certain situation? How do I take a decision? This all depends on, what perspective you have, what is our so-called mindset, what is so-called our clarity, right? What is our knowledge, right? So whatever you call it, what is your drishti, right? What is your drishti? That is your perspective. So based on that, we take decisions, we live. So if there is some issue at the level of perspective, it will come out, it will reflect, it will manifest in one or the other manner in our different aspects of the life. For example, if I believe that there is a competition everywhere, right, and then everybody out there is trying to compete with me, or if I believe that you cannot trust a single human being, then accordingly my relationships will be there. I won't be able to trust anybody. So what I believe, right, what I assumed, what I came to know is making like an impact in our living. So the idea, the workshop is going to give us a holistic perspective based on the reality. When I say reality, it does not mean how much crime is happening, what is happening, not that. The existential reality, how the things are there. For example, like gravity is there. It is there. It is not an opinion. It is not a result of a survey. We have a gravity. The earth has the gravity. The air contains certain gases. So like that, naturally, by way of existence, certain realities are there. So certain existential realities are there. So this workshop, we are going to develop a holistic perspective based on these realities, right? So these realities, we are going to put them in 4 parts. One is at individual level, that is as a human being, what we are, right? Existentially, what we are, right? That is one part. And then in interpersonal relationship, whether it is in family or workplace, right, and with relatives. So between human being and another human being, between 2 people, 1 people and several people put together. So what are the dynamics at that level? So we are going to understand that. And the third is at the largest society level. A lot of families put together is actually society. So we that are organized in the form of villages, towns, cities, countries, like that. So at society level, what are these dynamics? So how do we operate at this level, so that it is, we are happy at that level also. That is the third aspect. And the fourth one is, other than this human being, entire nature is there. You have space, you have planets. Within the planet, you have material order, you have things, plants, animals. So understanding the harmony that is already existing, understanding things at this level. So these four levels, we are going to understand the content, so that we develop a holistic perspective. My thought process is clear. I have the clarity to operate at any of this level, and can handle and come up with a solution to any issue, at any of these levels. So that is an individual level, and the family, and society, nature. So this is what is the entire content for the entire 8 days of this workshop. And now the thing is that, okay, you are saying this, but from where you are saying this? What is the basis of this content? So this content comes from this philosophy called coexistential philosophy. The Hindi name for this is Madhyas Darshan. So it is being spread all over the country, all over the world, by the name Jivan Vidya. So it is propounded by one person whom we call as Babaji. His name is Nagaraj. Like he just few years back only expired. So out of his efforts, so he got realized, and after that he propounded this. He expressed this meaning, right? So we, all of us as in the group of CSDC have attended some of these workshops, something like 10 years back, 12 years back, 13 years back. Some of us have attended 5-6 years back, and and immensely benefited in every aspect of our life. Like, how do I think? How do I eat? How do I conduct in my profession? How do I bring up my children? How do I behave with my wife? How do I contribute to society? What is my relationship with nature? At every aspect of the life is actually, touched by this content. And our overall our living has improved so much, and I can speak for myself. And then from that we felt, out of responsibility towards the society, we felt, no, we should take it to more and more people in whatever way possible. But then there is a question. I myself have not, you know got into a stage, or achieved a stage of where I don't have any flaws. No such stage, I have achieved. And then there is a question, right? Can we wait for such a stage, or meanwhile declare that what you are, and then go ahead and share as you would share with any of your family members, any of your relatives? So with all that, brainstorm, we have decided that we'll be upfront, very clear. So what we are, so as I said, I am also exploring this content. I'm also trying to understand this content. I'm also trying to live, as much as possible. I'm making mistakes. I also set alarm to wake up. I don't wake up. I also try to behave very well with everybody. I don't behave all the time. I also try to be more and more productive, but many times I am not. So all these are there. But at the same time, things have improved so much, right? I'm nowhere near the perfection, but I see so much it has improved, and I see so many mistakes I have made, and at least I know so many ways of, not doing the things. I have information about how to do right things. I also know how not to do the things. So this experience is certainly, helpful for anybody who you share with. In a normal, natural setting, like a family members, relative, friends, we share anyway. Now you're all our friends. We're all, part of one world family. So we feel that we can declare as ourselves as a co-explorer. You are exploring, I'm also exploring life, right? And let me share whatever I know, and you have the complete right. You are open to, if you found anything useful, to accept it, or look into it, or if you find something, completely useless, you are free to, discard. So with that kind of approach, we have decided to share this content in, whatever clarity, with the whatever clarity we have, right? And this is the approach we are going to take the workshop, that whatever is said in this workshop is a proposal. We are not saying this as trying to be safer side. We are not trying to say this as a matter of diplomacy. No, not at all, not at all, right? We strongly believe that any input, not only from, this workshop, for that matter, from any book, any person, right, any other source, right, any external source that comes to you as an input, as an information, right? You're watching a YouTube, you hear something, you're reading a book, you read something somebody is telling you. Please take that as a proposal. Take that as a proposal. What do you mean by proposal? So don't assume it to be right, or don't assume it to be wrong. Okay, then what is the use of it? Please verify it on your own right. The beauty is, one of the breakthrough, for me, one of the breakthrough observations of the findings of this entire research, entire content of this Jivan Vidya, is that it puts you in the center. Manav Kendrit. The human being is at the center. So you are at the center, and we are all endowed with this capability to find out what is right for yourself. We are endowed. See, you are already having legs, you're having this body, hands. You're not trying to depend on somebody to walk, right? You're using your own legs. Similarly, we can understand the content. We can figure out what is right for, ourselves, by deeper and deeper, say, introspection, right? Verify on your own right. What others can do is give input. Can you please look into this? I can ask you to verify. That is what we are going to ask in this workshop. Put you at the center. So how is this process going to happen? For example, now you're all on mute, so it is starting with me. So I'm going to put forward certain proposals to you. Okay, then it's reaching you, reaching your ears, right, reaching your eyes, and now it is there. This information is there with you. now that with that information as input, a process start inside you. Okay, this guy is saying something. Is it true or is it not? This is going on inside you. So that is what the dialogue. First, it is a dialogue between the speaker and you, but after the session or even during the session also, a dialogue starts within you. A dialogue starts within you, and then you think, right? Okay, you have an internal conversation, right? And this process goes. This is what we are calling as self exploration, right? So through this process you will figure out like whether what is given as a proposal is right or wrong. So before verification, please don't assume it to be true, please don't assume it to be false, don't discard also, don't accept also. So that is what is the approach we're going to take. Okay, so before we proceed further, we'll start with a small exercise. So a small exercise. Okay, so this exercise goes like this. So see, so it's like a journey. Let's say, I'm in Warangal, so it's in Telangana state. Let's say I'm in Hyderabad. I want to go from Hyderabad to Mumbai. So whether I go by a car or a flight or a train or by a walk or a bicycle, so all of it depends on where I want to go first and what are the time constraints or money constraint, resources constraints I have. So this has to be very clear to us. First of all, the destination and the constraints have to be clear to us. Similarly, before we go to the content, I want to request all of you to participate and give me the small input. If you have a pen and paper, it's good, you can write on it. If you do not have a pen and paper it handy, so please keep it handy by next session. But in this session, so answer it in the chat box. Can you please, all of you, please participate and tell me what is your wish. You have a wish list in your Amazon, right? What is your wish list? What is that actually you want in life? What is that you want to become? What is your deepest desire, right? So I want all of you to answer in the chat box. I have the chat box open. So make a list of your aspirations, expectations, in fact, certain expectations from others in your family that you would fulfill. So I'll give a minute, I'll give 2 minutes for this, and we'll, based on this discussion, we'll go forward. Okay, I've given certain examples on the screen. Say you want to become, a certain IAS officer, or you're already, some officer, some job you're doing, some role you're there, you want to become better at there, or get a promotion, or you want to earn money, you want to become famous, or whatever it is. So can you all please type some of your desires, aspirations in the chat box, please? So I hope all of you know how to use chat window in the Zoom. So if you're using phone, just press those 3 dots at the right bottom corner. So live happily. Somebody is saying live happily is my desire. Good, thank you. I want to be reliable person to all my near and dear. Yes, very important. Nazir ji, thank you. I need to have a healthy life. Yes, health, very important. Inner peace, get a passive income of 2 lakhs. Yes, we all need money, right? And clear debts, whatever debts we have, we should clear it. Harmonious life. Yes. Yes. Swati Patil ji, live peaceful life. Live peaceful life. Desire to be happy and healthy. Vishnu Prasad ji. Yes. Ramana, live in peace and harmony. Live happily. Okay. We are very nice, audience. Okay. I wanted to end. Could achieve now. I can see my disturbances in my life of brothers, sisters, parents. Not a good relation with anyone. I need happy relation. Yes, relationships. We want to have happy relationships, and want to earn also. Spread happiness and harmony around me. Yes. Please, whatever you can, 1 word, 2 words, please respond, all of you. There are 60 plus people, right? To be self-enlightened person. Padmaji, yes, thank you. Spread happiness and harmony around me. Yes. Getting good marks, getting into good college and settle in life. Yes, very important. Yeah, we are going to, somebody is asking whether we can get the presentation in the recording. We'll do everything, don't worry. Nothing is secret here. I want to my PhD and leave the IT job. Somebody is doing IT job and then you want to do PhD, you want to be part of JV, Srikanth. Okay, nice. We'll very soon have you in our team. Okay, to live up to my potential, lead a happy and healthy life, develop in life as much as possible, always. Use best potential to serve myself. Somebody has unmuted, please mute yourself. I want to keep learning a lot of different things, but especially about human psychology. Anubhav Sharmaji. Okay. Okay. Nice. I mean, quite a few of you have responded. At 55, look for good health, peaceful life, expect less easy death. So Dr. Vashaji, desire to be happy. I want my family to be happy, wish they will achieve their desires. Yes. So we are concerned about our family and their happiness, good health, peaceful life, Shruji, PKC, happy life, and serve society. Want to have clarity in life, more openness towards others, Chaitanya ji. Okay. I want to inculcate good human values in my kids. Yes. Parenting is our responsibility. Yes. Good health and peace. Okay. Mukesh Kumar ji. Okay. Use my fullest potential previously, which I have not done. I am not even aware of it. Yes. Sai Niranjan ji. Padmaji, I want expect less life. It's not clear to me, Padmavati. I want expect less life. Padmavati, you may type a little more clearly. Okay. Be a lifetime student. As a clinical psychologist, work as a healer. Work as a healer to self and others without thinking of financial benefits. Nice, very noble. Happy life, healthy life, reliable person, helping my colleagues and get name and fame. By my knowledge, fight for justice. Baswaraj. Okay. Okay. Okay, fine. Yeah. So stop there. We'll continue. I got a lot of answers. Healthy life. Okay. Okay. So some answers, right? Which particularly, we are students, many of you are adults, middle-aged and above middle-aged. Some of you are students, right? So we have these classes to our students also, particularly when they join the college. In the first day, second day itself, we have this discussion in the beginning itself. So I mean, many students try to answer very diplomatically, right? So sometimes we have some students answering very frankly also. Once a student told very clearly, say, I want, my position is very simple. So I want a job which pays the highest, I mean, a lot of money, the highest package, right? That is my primary. And the secondary is that, if possible, I don't want any work in the job, right? No work, lot of money. So that is what I want. Like it was very clear. So that kind of wish is very is there among the students, you can see. And then in one of such these workshops, so where open to society like this, which is like this workshop, which is open to everybody. So one woman answered like this, right? So face-to-face workshops, then people tend to be more open and talk very freely. So she was saying that, okay, if I look deeply, she said this, that I want, unlimited money, a lot of money till I live. And after I die, I want moksha. I want moksha. So apar sampada, jite ji apar sampada, marne ke baad moksha. She said, this is the combination I want. So we have all kinds of desires. So this entire exercise is to look into even these desires, whether we are saying it out openly or not. So if I just list down some of these things, right? So I've listed down some, because this is a PPT which prepared ahead. before the session. So some are already there. So some examples you have given, and some usually participants. So somebody is studying, right? Present effort, right? You said you have these desires, but what are you doing now? What are you doing now? Either you're thinking or doing something, right? Let's say you're studying, or you're doing your internship, or practicing a profession. You're already, many of your faculty, some of your, IT professionals, whatever job you're practicing a profession, or some of you are staying home. You're a mother, you're a brother, you're a sister. You're say that itself is, your main job. So you're practicing a profession, or you're attending certain classes, as doing some articleship, are doing some research, are practicing an art. So where are we putting this effort? We are putting effort in some of these things. And then the question is, let us look into it little deeply. Why am I putting this effort? Okay, if I'm going to the office, why am I going? What is the primary motivation, right? With what expectation, right? We are going. So we expect to become something by doing whatever we are doing. Presently, our effort is to become something, right? So I study so that I become an engineer. Say I'm doing certain practice internship, so I become a doctor. So I'm, practicing a profession, so I become better, right? You are attending certain coaching, so you want to, crack civil services. So like this, I'm practicing painting, so that I become a artist. So there is some effort to become something. And then the question is that, why do you want to become like that? Let us probe it further. Why do you want to become? To understand this deeply, we have to probe, we have to investigate, we have to explore, right? Why do you want to become like that? So I study, I become an engineer, so that what do I get if I become an engineer? You may get money, right? You may earn a name and some fame. So these are all getting something, right? Or you get to do something, right? Either you get some things, or you get an opportunity to do something, right? So you are putting some effort as of now here, and you become something. After you become something, let's say I become an engineer, I become a doctor, what can I do now? I can do service, right? If I become engineer, what is the advantage? I get some money. I also practice, my profession. So then you can do research, you can do some innovations, you can take care of your parents, make your family, nation proud, gain expertise in an area. You are studying, you're doing some research, you're practicing your profession to get an expertise in an area, and you are living, right? Live with self-respect. These are our, you know ideas. So we expect that we get some respect, get some satisfaction, and so on. So we are trying to map this effort to what actually you get, or you get to do, or what you actually get, the benefit you get. So this is our expectations. These are our expectations, but this expectation may fulfill sometimes, may not, get fulfilled sometimes, but that is our expectation. Now the question is, why do you want to get money? Why do you want to get name and fame? Why do you want to take care of, your parents? What is the motive even behind that? Why do you want to, live with self respect? Why do you want to make your parents, proud? Now again, can we get some answers in the chat box? Right after this analysis, why do you want to be healthy? Right? I'm not saying that don't be healthy, just for a discussion. I'm asking for the questions, right? So you have answered so far about your wishes, right? What you want in life, right? So why do you want that? Right? Somebody said you want to, be a lifelong student. Somebody said you want to study well and settle well. Why do you want that? What is the motivation behind that? Can you answer in the chat? To have a satisfaction, right? You have some meaning to the life, right? To have meaning and pursue to my life. Okay. Okay. You want to be contented. You want to be in harmony. I want to be healthy. Ensure that I am self-sustainable and not depend on others, right? To survive and help others with good health, and money. Okay, you want to help others. Why you want to help others? Why you want to help others? So that you can have some fulfillment. Somebody answer. Okay. Why do you want to, achieve your goals? Right? Why do you want to achieve your goals, Nikita? What you get by doing that? Self-satisfaction, Diya Jain, self-satisfaction. If we inculcate, good human values in kids, we'll save one more generation. Okay. Yeah. So I think we are able to see the point, right? See the point. I'll proceed further. Okay. To feel good, live happily, feels like a hero. Yes, right. Everyone around me inspiring all. Yes, very nice, very good answers. So if you probe it further, the end point will be to be happy, be satisfied, be contented. Have meaning to the life. That is what is the final answer you are going to get. No further final answer. Let's say you want to achieve this thing, achieve this goal, or get hold of something. If you probe further, you want to be famous, you want to earn name, all that also. Why? Ask questions. Why? If you keep on asking these questions, you will end up with finally only one answer, that I want to be happy, I want to be satisfied, I want to have some meaning in the life, right? I want to feel contented. These are the answers you will get finally, right? So why do you think you end up getting this answer only finally, right? This is what is called dharma, right? This is dharma. So dharma is something. Dharma is something is very innate to every human being, very innate to every human being. No matter in how many ways we differ, but we all actually same at one point, that all of us are wanting to be happy. So whatever we say, that you want to and somebody wants to become an engineer, somebody wants to become a doctor, somebody wants to become a lawyer, or whatever, artist. But and then everybody may have a different motivation behind every one of these desires. Somebody wants to become a lawyer to fight for others, somebody wants to be, let's say, become an engineer to get more money. All these also, we are differing here also at this level also, right? But we all same here. Why somebody wants to fight for others? So that he feels satisfied, right? He feels justice is very important in the society. Only when justice is established, he will feel very satisfied. So all of us are same at this level, that we want to be happy. See, becoming is something, getting or doing is something, and actually becoming, actually being in a certain state. This is about being in a certain state, and this is same for everybody. How do you reach this state is different. What path you take to reach that state is different. But all of us want to be, or want to be, stay in this state. What is that state? So this state of happy and prosperous state. I want to be happy, I want to be prosperous. When I say happy, internally you want to be happy. The prosperous is about having enough resources, enough whatever things you require for the life. If that is there, that is called prosperous. And happy is internally you feel happy. This is something all of us want, and this is by nature. This is, as I said, the gravity is there. See, you can have any amount, any difference of opinion, any argument to the gravity, but will gravity change because of that? Gravity is not going to change. You may continue to believe that there is no gravity, but will the gravity change? It won't change. Why? It is nature, it is how it is there. Similarly, human being also want to be happy, right? The way earth has gravity, human being wants to be happy. That's it, right? You may say that there are some people who don't want to be happy and all. You go and verify with them whether they may make others unhappy. Right? They may make others unhappy, but for themselves they want to be happy, right? So this cannot be taken away from human. You can take away from me anything, but you cannot take away from me the desire to be happy. This is very, very fundamental, right? So do you think, is that the basic aspiration, or can we say any of these basic aspirations? Like, see, I'm putting some effort. Let's say I'm studying, right? I want to become an engineer so that I get some money, some name or fame. So first is, number one is to the effort I'm putting. Can we say that is the basic aspiration? Can we say become something, right? You want to become a teacher, you want to become a researcher, you want to become a good parent, or you want to become a good son. Is the basic aspiration? Or you want to, become a owner of an house, you want to tour the world, or you want to, get hold of some amount of money, right? Or you get to do certain things. These are all level 1, level 2, level 3 things were said. But finally, what we are saying at level 4 is happy and prosperous. Which of these things can we say as basic aspiration, right? So it is open to you. So you please think about it, right? Which we can say as basic aspiration. The effort we are putting, that is a role, or the something we are trying to become, or something we want to get hold of, is that the basic aspiration? Or being happy and prosperous is the basic aspiration? So this is something to ponder for you. And our proposal is that the human being, the basic aspiration, every human being, how much we may differ in so many other aspects, all of us want to be happy and prosperous. That is the basic aspiration, right? So now it is given as a proposal that the basic aspiration is to be happy and prosperous, right? Maybe I'll just open up it for one or two questions at this point, because one thing that established in the first half an hour is that the basic aspiration of the human being is this. So if you want to say something here, or if by unmuting, you can say it, or you can type it in chat box. I'm opening for a short discussion. Please. Is it making sense, whatever we discussed so far? Or do you have anything to add, right? Anything to differ, please?
It is making sense, sir. This is Srinivas.
Yeah, hi, Srinivas.
So fulfillment will also come as part of it, right? Like once we are fulfilled, again it will be happy.
Yeah. Yes.
Fulfillment or content.
Yes. So as of now, let's put all of them as a state. It is a state of, see, if I put it little different words, it's state you want to be there. Okay. It's a state.
Okay, sir.
You want to be there and continue it forever. That is the state we're talking about. So name anything is okay. So here the basic aspiration is happiness, prosperity, and its continuity also. See, we are not just talking about being happy for a moment, for a short span of time, a temporary state. Okay, those states we all achieve for a minute or a few minutes, in so many ways, right? We feel actually continental, but then again that state is going, right? What actually we want is, we want to be in that state in a continuous manner forever.
Sure.
Right? So that's the state I'm referring to. Can we say that as our basic aspiration, or becoming an engineer, becoming a doctor, becoming something or something, or get something, right, as a basic aspiration? So that's the point we're trying to discuss.
Yeah, being consistently happy is far better, sir.
Yeah, basic aspiration. Thank you. So you may mute yourself. So maybe some more people can respond either in the chat or by unmuting. So in a face-to-face workshop, it's little easy. I can see you, you can see me. So by just looking at the faces, you know what is going on. But in online workshop, you'll have to speak little bit, then only we'll know whether something is getting connected or communicated or not. Okay, please. Yeah, yes, who is that?
Good morning, Hari. This is Nagamohan.
Yeah, hello, Nagamohan.
Yeah, long back I went to a psychologist, a psychiatrist for some purpose.
Okay.
So then he taught me an exercise on how to relax your body and mind. And then he was saying that most important in life is progress. Continuous actions which leads to a better in you, in yourself, in your life is progress. It should be a continuous journey, he said.
Yes.
So always think on, keep only progress in your mind, than many other things. That's what he said. I wanted to share.
Yeah, very aptly he said. See, without putting some effort for betterment of ourselves, how can we become better? Right?
Yeah.
But then at the same time, progress in what direction? If you say, let's say 10% increase in my salary is progress, do you think will it guarantee my happiness? So we have to be very clear here. What is progress? Is it if my friendships in my family relations are becoming better and better, can I say that as progress? Right? Or if I am earning more, or whatever, if my degrees are increasing, is that progress? One has to be clear about what is progress and keep the goal also. See, as I said, if I am to go from Hyderabad to Mumbai, I should keep moving. That is very clear. But which direction I should be moving? That is one point. That is progress. Which direction? If I'm going from Hyderabad to Mumbai, but if I'm walking towards Delhi, we cannot actually call it as a progress. Why? Because the target is clear. No? Mumbai is clear, but we are walking towards Delhi. It is you're talking in opposite direction, in fact. So this clarity is important. Progress is important, but the direction and the goal. So here the goal, from our discussion, what we are proposing is that our goal is to be happy and prosperous. To be happy and prosperous, of course, we have to make progress. Of course, we have to make plan. Of course, we have to put effort. Of course, you have to become something. Of course, you have to get something. But idea is that entire steps, in between steps, are they aligned towards the goal you want to go, you want to reach? Is it making sense? Hello, Nagmohan?
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, yes.
Yeah. So what he said, is right. I'm just adding,
yes,
things to it. Yeah.
Got it. Yeah. Some other person wanted to add. Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah. Hello, Bijay from Vadodara. So what I can say, I am means searching for pleasure and doing the same to get pleasure from everything in my daily life. But and also expecting to that people surrounded by me are happy, means I am trying to make them happy. But finally, when I'm going to bed, it is not happening. If I check my full day and I see what I tried to get the pleasure for everyone, for me, but finally it is not achieving. So the consistent happiness or pleasure is not really happening. So, but truly we are searching for that.
Yes. So that's why, that's why we can say that is our basic aspiration, right? And it cannot happen just like that. Somebody has to put effort. Let us say if I want, 5 lakhs of rupees by 2022, what should I do? I should plan from now. What certain amount of income I have to have, certain amount of savings I have to do, somewhere I have to invest, then only the return comes. Right? So as of now, we sort of intuitively know that we want to be happy. But somehow we have not figured out how can we be in that state in a continuous manner, consistent manner. We figured out some ways to be in that state for a moment, for some time. Okay, by eating or doing whatever, some entertainment, some hanging around doing things of your liking and all. But then that only, if I take 24 hours, that's only filling, let's say, 30 minutes, 1 hour, 2 hours, 3 hours, 7 hours, 8 hours. But what about the rest of the time and rest of, our life? So that is something we have to figure out. It cannot come just like that. The way money cannot just like that come from the air, right? Your knowledge does not come just like that. See, just to be a professional, so we spend how many years? We start our school as early as year 3, year 4 till year 20, we're studying 15 to, more than 15 years of study we do. So all these, put together is the amount of actual time spent turns out to about more than 10,000 hours of time. After that, we are able to practice certain profession, we are able to, man over certain things. So this also requires certain kind of effort, certain kind of clarity, and we need to understand certain methods and practice them. Then only we can reach. In fact, without doing any of these things, we are trying to do it. We are trying to do a good job at it still. Why? Because as a society, as a family, parents, and teachers, our friends, through all these sources, we gathered some of the other knowledge, some good knowledge. Some of these practices we are embraced, and we are able to do it. For example, we all understood that the family is necessary. We are all part of the family. That itself ensures certain level of happiness. We all understood that going to education, going to school is something necessary. For centuries we are continuing that practice. So some of these things we have learned, but some aspects are missing. So that is what I'm going to just focus here now. See, the way we concluded, at least tentatively, in the for the sake of presentation, you for deeper conclusion for yourself, you please ponder on it, verify on yourself, that if you conclude that the basic human aspirations, happiness, prosperity, and its continuity, it's not just one time happiness for a moment, but continuous happiness. If that is what it is, so don't you think our education, our entire upbringing in the education should facilitate this? By the time a child attains certain age, right? Let's say by the time he becomes a 15-year-old, a 18-year-old, right? By the time he or she needs to know completely about how to get to this stage. What is the process? What is the method? Right? So this is the expectation from the education, and that's why so much of emphasis is given on the education. If you look over any society all over the world, and you go back 100 years, 150 years, 200 years, that this is something that is become that was common, that the child, say 3 or 4 or 5 or 6 years of age, you send him to the school. His primary job is the task is to attend the school and try to get this knowledge. So as a part of the education, it is expected that education and upbringing in the family also, it is expected that, just a minute, one or two people are trying to join. I think one or two people have network connection issues. They are getting left and joining again. Okay, right. So the education is expected to teach two things. I mean, education expected to empower a person with two things. One is understanding what is my aspiration, what is, as a human being, what is my basic desire and how to go about it. That is one part. And the second part is the how part. One is what is, as a human being, what is my aspiration, and then how to fulfill my aspiration. These two aspects are there, not just one aspect. As of now, we are emphasizing so much and so much on how part. So how do I become an engineer? How do I become an artist? How do I become a doctor? So this is how part. This how part will help me to do certain things, certain activities, certain skills. So these are skills. So the education is teaching me these skills. Okay. So do you think both are required or not? So is the skills enough? Right? If we don't understand our aspiration, if I don't understand myself, like what actually I truly want in life, if I don't understand that part, but mostly focus on the skills, right? I will become only skilled person. Will I become a fulfilled person? Will I become a happy person? So that is, a big question. So that's why we need to understand both the parts, right? I want to understand what to do in life before how to do, right? We all know how to do now. We have to appear in certain entrance exams, apply certain college, get this degree, go to a company, or start a business. We know how to do this stuff, but we have not understood, right, what to do in life. So that part is what is value education. So that's what we are calling, with different names, universal human values. When you say, like, understanding the role of a human being in a larger context, What is the value of a human? What for I have born? What is the primary my purpose? Is it to grow up, become an adult and earn something, and then ensure that you ensure this much earning for your next generation also, and die? What is the basic purpose? Why is this existence is going on and going on and going on? Why it is there at all, right? So that clarity is not there. So ensuring that that clarity is there in every individual is the purpose, one of the purpose of the education. But once you have the clarity, that's not enough. I have the clarity. I know that I have to take care of my body. I take care of myself. I take care of relationships. But if I want to take care of relationships and the body, you need to have something, some physical things. I need to have a house. I need to have a vehicle. I need to have some food on the plate. So how do I get this? I have to learn farming. I have to learn cooking. So all those skills also are taught as a part of education and upbringing in the house, at the home, right? So who are responsible for these two? Who are responsible for these two? All of us are responsible. First, it starts with parents and family, and then the formal education, that is schools, colleges, right, universities. And then it is also responsibility of the media, whatever media you see, whether it is TV, newspapers, social media, and the role models, those who have become role models, celebrities, in the society. It is a combined responsibility. It is a combined responsibility of all these three groups: parents and the family members, formal education, and the society. But we all know, we don't have to spend so much time on this. None of these, I mean, we have to be honest. Even as parents, we are not able to ensure that this kind of clarity is there in my child. As of now, we are not in a position. Ensure we are doing something, whatever best we can do, but we are not able to ensure that as a parents, as a family members. And even many of your teachers, right? And then many of your children are going to the school and college, very clearly. So how much schools or and colleges are able to impart these kind of values, right? And then, and the media, and like what kind of influence the media has on the society, whether it is positive or negative, it very clearly. So it's very clear that all the three systems have failed some or the other extent. There is the extent, it is different, right? The media may be really bad, but the parents and the family are not so bad as of now. But definitely all of us have not succeeded completely. So then what to do? Where do we start? Right? Where do we start? See, there is no question. You cannot wait for a government to bring a policy. You cannot wait the TV channels to change. You cannot wait for your school to introduce this subject. We have to start wherever we are. If you are a teacher, please start sharing this in your class. If you are a parent, please start having a dialogue with your children. If you are in media, try to be a positive influencing a person or an entity. So wherever we are, let us do something. So I'm there as a parent. As far as I'm concerned, I'm focusing more and more attention to myself, first of all, to understanding these things deeply, helping my children in the process. I'm there as a teacher in the college, whatever opportunities I get, and or in fact I create opportunities and help my students to do this, and with the family, with the relatives, whatever uh, opportunities are that we can use it and do it. We don't have to start for somebody else or some system to change. Okay, so this part was more to emphasize the need for human values, need for uh, like focusing on a dimension which we are ignoring in the education or in the families. Okay, so two things we have emphasized so far. One is the basic aspiration of the human being, that is we all want to be happy and prosperous, and we want this in a continuous manner. So that is fixed. That means where we want to go, the destination is fixed, at least those, so that whatever we want to discuss, we can say, you may say that I'm in Hyderabad, why don't you go, you can say me, why don't you go via Bhopal, you can tell me why don't you go via Ahmedabad and all that. But to find out whether which route is right, which route is wrong, we have one thing very clear: we want to reach Mumbai. Right? If the destination is clear, then our discussion also can happen in a directed manner. So the destination part is we all want to be happy and continuous happiness and prosperity is our destination or our goal. Okay. Again, we want to re-emphasize that whatever is said, even this proposal that we all want to be happy and prosperous is a proposal for you. Please verify and own right. So is it really that I want to be happy or I want to become unhappy sometimes? Verify, for yourself, is that your basic aspiration or not? So this verification process, so this is a very powerful tool. So this is a tool, right? You have a litmus test, you filter things, right, like that. So this is an internal filter. So this is a two-stage filter, right, that is designed. So we can verify whatever proposal that is given. Let us say I'm saying a proposal that let us respect everybody. Let's say this is one proposal, right? So this is a proposal and I'm asking you to verify. So how do you verify it? How do you verify it? So you verify like this. The level 1 is, the first filter is that you ask yourself, is it acceptable to me? Respecting everybody, acceptable or not? Naturally acceptable or not? You ask your conscience, you ask yourself, right? You have an inner self, there is an inner voice. So you ask, is it acceptable to me? So in Hindi we call it sahaj swikriti. What for you have this swikriti? What for you have acceptance? You have acceptance for respect or disrespect? You have respect for relationship or hatred? You have respect to help others or exploit others? What is acceptable? So first thing is ask yourself, right? If the answer is yes, you tentatively accept the proposal. Yes, this is okay. This proposal seems to be a worthy proposal. And then there is a level 2. What is level 2? In a lab, in a research lab, in science, what do we do is we take as an hypothesis. First, we study it from whatever basic principles we know, whether it is consistent or not, we see it. Once we see it, it is worthy to explore further. We experiment, we conduct an experiment and get the results. And if these results are justifying the hypothesis, then we accept the hypothesis to be correct or wrong. Same is the case here. Okay, behaving in a respectful manner with others is acceptable or not? Acceptable. Okay, like this is a thought experiment you did, it is acceptable. And then what you do, actually you do it in the life, you behave with other human beings, right, in a respectful manner, right? So this part you do it. If it is leading to mutual happiness, that is you are also happy, the other person is happy, then the proposal is correct. If it is not leading to mutual happiness, that proposal is wrong, right? A counter example I'll give you. For example, you can say that no, there are some crooked people, right? You cannot respect these guys, you cannot behave well these guys with these guys, you don't know, you guys are just talking utopian concepts. These are idealisms you're talking about, these are not practical. You have to behave disrespectfully, scold them, right? Hate them, then only they will understand. You may have this kind of proposal with you. Okay, again you ask yourself, is it acceptable to be in a disrespectful manner with others? Yes, with some people it is yes. Let us say you come to that conclusion at level 1, right? Okay, level 2, you do like that. You go and present yourself in a disrespectful manner. You scold somebody. So is it leading to happiness of both of you? Because that is our target, isn't it? That is our target. So by scolding some person, by being angry on some person, can you be happy? Can you be happy? And can other person be happy? You verify. So if you are able to be happy and if other person is happy, please continue and do it. Please continue and do it. There is no issue there, right? So this is the process we are suggesting. So verify on your own right whether it is naturally acceptable to you. If it is yes, take it and experiment. Take it and live according to it in your life. Apply it. Okay, no, children don't understand, you have to beat them, then only they understand. Okay, beat you. Are you happy? And is child happy? Right? If not, then we are going back to our basic question. Your basic aspiration is to happy and prosperous. Are you not working against your own interest? right? So which means what? The intermediate processes that you want to get something, you want to do something, you want to become something, that is what are given higher priority or given more priority than the final outcome. So that is being happy and prosperous, right? So getting, let us say, you and your wife or your life partner are having a discussion about either buying something or not buying something. Your focus maybe is to save few hundred rupees, right? So you have an argument and you're not able to come to a conclusion. So then you have an argument. Let's say you scold your wife, or your wife is having a heated argument with the husband, or your children. Your children want a gadget and you are not able to convince, right? You scold them, right? So this is that behavior acceptable to you? Being angry acceptable to you? Right? Not acceptable. Why are we doing it? The 500 rupees or whatever rupees you want to save is being given more value than the person. Is the relationship more important or the money more important? Are my happiness more important, the 500 more important? Right? So if I try to be in a way that is not acceptable to me, I am bound to be unhappy. See, it's like this. See, your body accepts certain kinds of foods. If it is too hot, you cannot take it. You just try to put it in mouth, like the body will reject it. If it is rotten, let's say this is mango season, can you eat a rotten mango? No, only certain things are acceptable. Similarly, as a human being, only certain things are acceptable. What is acceptable? Right? Being in a relationship is acceptable. Behaving with respect is acceptable. Not being hungry, lovable has acceptable. You try to be aggressive, you try to be angry, immediately your inner self rejects it. How does it reject it? It becomes unhappy. The way, if you eat, let's say something is rotten, but you can dress it up, put some masala, whatever smell and all, then you eat it. Even it passes the level 1 filter, that is tongue, but after it goes to the stomach will get upset, isn't it? So even if the level 1 filter passes, that is okay, I have to be angry on this guy and do the level 2, it will fail at the level 2 filter. Yes. So keep this entire process in your mind and apply it. Then lot of things in the life will get sorted out on its own, right? So what happens many of these situations is that we forget that there is an inner conscience. We just get attached to that extra money saving or time saving or likes and dislikes. Like, I want to do happen this thing in this way only. That kind of likes and dislikes we have. So we give higher value to that likes and dislikes and than to other person, than to our own happiness. It's possible that some of us got addicted to smartphones, addicted to certain entertainment, right? And it has become a temporary like and dislike. You try to do these things more and more and don't do your work, procrastinate, but then ultimately you feel guilty, right? So doing your job or postponing your job, which one is acceptable? Doing my job at this time is acceptable, but I postpone, which means I'm acting against my natural acceptance. That is obviously going to lead to unhappiness. You may watch, divert yourself, not pay attention to what is your state for a moment, for some time, but after that you close that YouTube window and close your phone again, you feel so guilty, right? Because we have acted against our natural acceptance. Okay. And there are some proposals which are got to do with the nature, with the nature. That is, there are certain proposals like behavior related, behaving with respect, behaving with love, and there are some proposals which are got to do with working with nature. Let us say, you are consuming every day, we all consume, right? So we have body physical, which is physical in nature. To sustain our body to be healthy, we consume. So if this consumption is according to the natural principles, then nature also will be prosperous. We also will be prosperous. That will lead to mutual prosperity. If not, if not, there will be deprivation. We feel more and more, deprived. The more on this, I'll explain later. Okay. Now we take these proposals. Several of these proposals we are going to put forward in this workshop. So this proposal is your input for you, input, right? So you run through this, right? Level 1 filter, you run through this level 2 filter. This is 1 and this 2. So you do a thought experiment, you verify on your own right, naturally acceptable or not, and then you apply in your life. If both filters are clear, and then you conclude that conclusions one by one, several things you conclude. All that put together is the right understanding. We are calling as the right understanding. You can call it knowledge, you can call it wisdom, you can call it clarity, right? So everything that is born out of my self verification and experimentation, living in life, and from there we conclude. That is what, see, some understanding we have, like samaj, in Hindi we call it samaj, but that samaj is based on my verification and exploration, or something has come, I just accepted, manyata. So man liya, we just assumed it to be right, or did I verify? So if it has come through the verification process, we are calling it as a right understanding. Again, you can raise a question on this process also. This process is a proposal. So do you think, or you think about it, that is this process okay for you? Even this process is also a proposal. So a process in which I am at the center, and my attention is brought to something that is already there with me. What is there with me? There is an inner conscience, right? The self is there, to whom I can ask whether it is right or not. I can see for myself, I can experiment it, live according to it, and find out for myself whether it is right or not. So this process, my attention is drawn to this, and somebody is asking me to look into this. Is this acceptable? Or there can be a process, which popularly we call it a moral education. So in which it gets written, please behave like this, wake up at this time, eat this thing, do not eat this thing. Like, so a list of do's and don'ts are prescribed. Whether that kind of process is acceptable to me, even that is left to you. None of these things, as I said, are enforced upon you. None of these things we are saying that are the finally right or wrong. So please verify even this process also, on your own right. Okay. So any questions on the till this point? Again, 2-3 responses, let's listen and then go forward.
Hari, it's 8 o'clock, almost 2-3 minutes. We can have questions.
Okay. Okay, fine. Yeah. Any questions, any comments on this so far?
There is one request to repeat the last slide.
Yeah.
And repeat.
Just a minute, I'll clear this. Yeah. I'll just repeat. So what we're saying, the approach we are going to follow in this workshop is this. So whatever that we are trying to put forward, that is, let's say we have today one proposal is put forward, that is the basic human aspiration. For any person, the basic aspiration is happiness and prosperity. Okay. So this proposal we are putting forward. So how do what we are saying is that please verify, don't take it granted, on our face value, or don't take it granted because it has come from some big person or anything. We're saying that please verify on your own right. So all of us, every human being, by virtue of a human being, we are, see, there is a seed in the nature. Seed, by definition, by natural existence, seed has a potential to become a plant, a tree, right? That is there already. Similarly, as a human being, we are there as a human being, means we have this capability, right? There is an inner self to which you can ask, that whether the proposal given by this person in this workshop, is it making sense or not? You can ask, and then you will always find a right answer. This capability is there with all of us. So you use this capability. That's what we are saying as naturally acceptable. If you go by natural acceptance, for all of us, only certain things are acceptable. Wrong things are not acceptable. Respect is acceptable for all of us. Disrespect, you verify yourself, it's not acceptable for any one of us, going by the natural acceptance. But we ourselves, as of now, our current state is that it's possible that we are still behaving in a disrespectful manner. I may be expressing my anger, right? I may be acting against my natural acceptance. But the moment we shift this shift happens, this transformation happens, beautiful things will happen. And the second level filter we are asking to apply is that not only the thought experiment, in your living, try to do like this. So we are saying that, okay, with some people you have to behave angrily. So you behave angrily. Is it leading to mutual happiness? That is happiness of you and the other person. If that is the case, continue. That is the case, continue. Because what actually we all want is my happiness and others' happiness. Isn't it? My happiness and the others' happiness. This is what we all want. If the act I am doing is not giving me any happiness, then why am I doing it? Right? So this process can be executed. We can all do this self exploration, self verification, without consulting any external sources. All external sources will give us input. They are very valuable, very important. For example, this workshop is input. From workshop only we are getting input, but verification process has to happen inside us. So that's what we said. So let me look at the chart. There are some questions. So in the evening 7 to 8, all the questions will be taken. But if any immediate 1 or 2 questions are there, I'll. If opposite person is angry, takes for granted our silence, then what to do, sir? So first part is this. We'll go in sequence. As I said, this workshop is like a sentence. So one word is spoken today, another word is spoken tomorrow, like that. So it comes in a continuous manner. To answer interpersonal questions already require some base, right? So first we'll focus more and more on understanding one person, that is myself. And then we go what to do when we handle other person, when in the family, the other person is angry, what can I do it? There also, sir, you have the same option. Other person is angry, you also want to be angry, it's your choice. But you again, you verify yourself. Is becoming angry acceptable to you? If yes, go ahead and do it. Is that giving you happiness? If yes, please do it. Otherwise, do something which gives you happiness. It's as simple as that. As simple as that. Rest of all are secondary. Okay. And then there is another question. You said that if you are addicted to gadget, more time you will feel details. Yeah. So as of now, we have certain assumptions even about the children, Swatiji, like about the children, right? Through gadgets, we are assuming that they're getting this happiness. Let us talk to them, right? Let us talk to them and verify. Ask them also, right? There is no doubt that you get certain amount of happiness, happiness through this sensory pleasure, whether it's watching something, listening, prancing, playing games, and these things. And these are all addictive in nature. But certainly there is another aspect to it. We'll discuss more and more about it tomorrow, day after tomorrow. There is a separate session called care and guidance, particularly focusing more and more on the children and the parenting. We'll discuss more on it. And as a parent also, how can you create such opportunities for them to be as a substitute for the gadgets, right? Substitute for the guy, because ultimately child also, what is he trying to do? He also trying to be happy. As of now, he knows 2 or 3 or 4 sources. Among them, he is choosing the easiest one, right? And that tendency is there in human beings. So let us first understand that a human being has this requirement to be happy, and there is a tendency to do something easier than something that is meaningful. And then as a parent, it becomes my responsibility to do this. Am I capable? Right? If not capable, I have to develop my capacity, right? Have I thought about all these things before getting into marriage, even before these children? Have I prepared myself right? As of now, I have the clarity. Then we will be able to, guide them and do all these things. Okay, I haven't had all this clarity, but time has passed. Now it is deeper problem. Yes, still we can do something. We'll discuss about it. Right? Srikanth, you are putting how to put continuous effort without distractions. We'll take it up in the evening. So because it's already 8 a.m., we should stick to the time, right? So I'll stop the session here. But if you have any questions not related to content, but immediately related to any logistic matters, such things, timings we cannot change. I hope Zoom is okay for everybody. So in the evening 7 to 8, again, we'll have 1 hour questions where no new proposals will be given. Okay. So I hope today's session made some sense to you. Okay. So there you will find some repetitions, right? It's important, deliberately done. Thank you. Yeah, thank you, Anjuji. So you're from Gujarat, right? So you attended our earlier English session also. Yeah, Anjuji.
Yes, sir.
Hi.
Yes, sir.
How are you?
Happy to see you.
Yeah,
Thank you.
Good to see you.
Yeah.
Giri, you may stop recording. We'll just have some.
Yes. Okay. So yeah, thanks everyone. It is a good session by Hari, Dr. Hari, and yeah, as he said, start verifying the